Anybody? Crickets, crickets, crickets. What about you, Ruth or Skylar or anybody? Anybody want to pop in?
I can show mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are my three patterns, and then I'm going to go with the bottom one. I did different shapes of dice because I play D&D with my friends, and just thought it would be like a cool, interesting pattern.
Nice. And you're going to use, if I remember correctly, you're going to use a cricket to cut out your stencil, which
Yes.
anybody's got a cricket, that's gold. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
All right. What about your shape? What shape did we decide on?
So I tried to do a shape kind of like this third one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly like that, but it's my first time working with clay since like seventh grade, I think. So I tried my best to kind of mimic that sort of shape.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's important to note that especially this method is not really prone for perfect symmetry. To get that great symmetry, you really just have, like, I'm not even really good at symmetry. Like, my pots sort of lean a little bit like this. So for this project, just embrace that wabi-sabi aesthetic where like everything's just a little bit shifted, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little bit imperfect, you know? Like us, we can be imperfect and everything's gonna be all right.
Mine's definitely not like symmetrical, but I've just accepted it.
Yep, exactly. Like, what can you do? What can you do? It's good. It doesn't mean it's a bad pot. It's a great pot. But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Alrighty. Who's next? I want to see more. And if you don't have your sketches, that's okay. Like, just pop in and tell us like what your general idea is.
I can describe mine. So I kind of want to do a bowl. I have a little sketch here, and I'm realizing that it's gonna have to be like pretty large, like big wise. So I don't actually know what I'm gonna like use it for, but I think it'd be like nice to like start thinking more like applicably
Yeah.
than just like to make like an artistic piece. But I want it to have like waved edges to give it more of like an aesthetic appeal instead of just like a straight bowl. And then that also like as y'all are talking, like realizing that it might be a little light sided, it kind of like automatically gives it grace for that. And then for my pattern, I've literally just sketched it out, just doing a wave to go along with all of my like rounded edges and make like everything cohesive.
Cool. I like that. I think what is the name? There's a potter out there, and I can't remember their name for the life of me. But they make these really beautiful thin bowls, and they just swoosh in like that. So the rims are never perfect, and I think just keep that in mind while you're working, and just I think it'll be great. It sounds really good. And if you're gonna do a bowl, because it'll be a little bit wider, it doesn't. I don't think it should have to be that 6 inches. If you can get 6 inches, go for it. But if you run out of clay before you get that, but you've got like, I don't know, 10 or 8 inches like this way, it's okay.
Okay, perfect.
And that applies to everybody. If you choose to do something that's going to be a little bit wider, like a bowl, just make up those missing inches height-wise, width-wise. Cool. I love it. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Anybody else who wants to go?
I could go next.
Yeah.
And sorry if I was a little bit late today for the meeting. So yeah, I don't have my thoughts planned out just yet, but I do have like an idea of what I want to do. So I'll go ahead and show it.
Do it. Let's see it. Let's have a look. And while we're waiting for him, just something to sort of like note when you do your painting, if you can no longer see like the water sheen on the top of like the glossiness of the wet Terra Sig, then it's dry enough to do the next go around. And I often work, when I'm working, I have like a little just like table fan I got that just turns like this, you know? We all sort of have, I don't know if you have one in your bedroom or not, but while you're working, you can plug one of those in and turn it on, and it'll help everything sort of dry a little faster. However, I would not leave your piece directly in front of it and like walk away for a long period of time, because what will happen is you'll have one side of your pot be super dry and the rest will be super wet, and it'll stress right. Anyway, Steven, let's go.
Sorry, I was still trying to figure out the whole thing. Wait, am I presenting or?
We got you.
Okay, so for my pie, I was gonna have this. I don't know if you can see it. It's something like this. I wanted to do. I'm very basic with it, and then I was also gonna include also part of my heritage too. Some like floral patterns that are used for like Vietnamese like women's dresses or for men's clothing, like these circle patterns right here.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then I was also gonna include like a Chinese dragon into it. I'm big on dragons, especially like the classic like skinny looking dragons and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I was planning on incorporating that in some form or fashion. But
that would be cool. I think don't get too caught up in the details that
yeah, of course.
harder. But I think like a real thick dragon could be really nice.
Right.
Outside, and then maybe you complement it with those pretty floral patterns. But I think this idea is really solid.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Who's next? I'm gonna start calling on people.
I can go next. This is kind of, let me see if you can see it. So these are kind of the pot shapes that I like. I kind of like the idea of making a pot that is not symmetrical, but then I was like, maybe I should try to, because if you can't, I kind of like making things that are unsymmetrical, but at the same time, I want to see if I can push myself and try to do something that is. But I'm probably just going to go with my gut and go the unsymmetrical route. And then the ideas that I had for patterns was these so this is a picture that I took last semester for a photography class. And so this is a shirt that I really love to wear, and it's traditional, and then on the shirt you can see this flower pattern, and so based on that I wanted to make like daisy shapes and then have that go around the pot, and that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Yeah.
Awesome. No, I think that would be really cute. Very like homage to Mexican embroidery sort of situation. And I feel you on the making unsymmetrical things. That's my, some people just have the knack for it, and some people, don't. So
I don't.
don't, if it's not perfect, don't frustrate yourself. Because like, even throwing on the wheel, which realistically could make a perfect pot, sometimes the rim is a little uneven. So. All right, who's next?
I can go.
Yeah.
All right. Is it okay if I just screen share?
Absolutely.
All right. So can you see?
Look, there it is.
All right. So I think I'm gonna go with this first shape that I made. It's kind of rough, because I don't want to stress too much about symmetry. And then as far as my pattern, I chose like this leaf pattern, reminiscent of like Greek style leaves and stuff. Then maybe like some lines above it for the final product.
Yeah, I think it's really kind of clean and classic. I think it'll be very easily accomplished, so don't stress too much about it. I think the shape is perfect.
Thanks.
No worries. All right. Who's next? Who wants to go next and do a little share?
I'll go. Mhm.
Excellent.
And put on the computer so I'm gonna like show it here.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking this. I was kind of getting away. Like maybe say like this like a flower vase, or say like either like the standard regular or like a bit curvy.
Mm-hmm.
I was also thinking like maybe a pitcher or like a mug, but then like I looked at the description where like it's like 6 inches and like wide and tall, so the pitcher would be a better idea. And then as for parents, kind of thinking like maybe kind of like a repeating pattern either like diagonally or vertically, or have it where it's like say like this one where it's like crisscrosses, or say like two small lines. Sorry, two small lines, or and with one large line with like some stains. And
Yeah.
oh
Cool.
yeah.
I think those are good. Like, so what's sort of your like idea behind it? Like, why are we choosing the shapes we're choosing?
Um, the fire base, base is kind of like just like I had some interest like back in high school for like what's it called again? Horticulture. And the mugs and the picture because like for some reason I kind of just like wanted another like say mug kind of like this one except
Ah,
like bigger.
yeah. I will say, just for everybody, this will not be a food safe vessel.
Hmm.
So you can't drink out of it, but it's more decorative than it is
Yeah.
functional.
That's the
But I
case, and then I suppose I can make it where it's like ironic. Like I just put like say plants like flowers and such in the
exactly. It'll do really well with flowers.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that could be really interesting. I would love to see a handle. I think that's the first handle we've seen so far. So if you were to throw a handle on it, that could be very interesting. And the pattern is sort of like I don't know. I like the sort of like striped one that you had. I really like the one where you got just like a little more complex, where it was that ladder shape, and then the stripes that sort of mirrored on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could really push yourself if you did something like that. So
Okay.
whatever you end up doing, I think it'll be great.
Okay.
You're welcome. All right. Who's next?
I can go.
Hey, there you are. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. But I don't know how.
I think they're on the bottom right-hand corner. It should say present now.
Okay. Um, no, I don't know how to do it, but I will show my sketch. I was gonna
Yeah.
it was gonna be easier, but I already started making mine pots, I guess you could call it, but this is the one I decided to do, and it's kind of like that